everyone, it's Christian from the Calcio, and it has been a while once again, and this is a video that we've been trying to get out for the longest time, but I've honestly just been busy with school right now, assignments, exams, you guys know it. So, finally getting to it, I'm just going to talk about transfers and all the rumors that's been going on right now with every team. Not going to talk about every single transfer just because a lot of them are just like the youth players going away on loan. Again, we may not have actually heard of them or seen them play, but you know, I just want to don't mention everyone, just some of the bigger ones, and especially this year in Serie, it's been one of the craziest ones I've seen in like the longest time. I've never seen so many players like come to the league, and we all know which one was the most surprising one, and I'll get to that shortly. So here we go, guys. Starting off with the first team on the list, and it is Atalanta. They sold more players than they bought. Some of the bigger names coming in, Duvan Zapata, loan with option to buy, which is a really good acquisition for them. I mean, they got a strong person up front. Mario Pasalic comes back to Italy after his one stint with Milan there. It's been a couple of years now, so it's good to see him back. I really liked him when he was at Milan. Such a hard worker, and he'll fit well in with this Atalanta team. And they even signed Pierluigi Golini, who is the goalie, the backup goalie last season on loan from Aston Villa. They bought him outright, so that is even a good acquisition considering he can even be the goalie of the future, since Berisha is like well in his 30s now. So at least they're planning for the future, and they have given him game time last season. So at least we can see him develop and be like the future of the team, perhaps, right? And he can even maybe make his way into the Azzurri. He's still pretty young as it is. Some people they sold, you know, there are some surprising ones here. They got rid of Petagna on loan. He went to Spal. Sportiello went to Frosinone after he spent the season with Fiorentina. He'll go to Frosinone on loan as well. Poloski is outright bought from Spal, so he's staying there. And Brian Cristante makes his way to Roma, a loan with option to buy as well. That was a little surprising. He will for sure get a better, I guess I don't know how to word it, but I guess the move to Roma, it would be good considering he didn't have the best time at Milan. He managed to refine his form at Atalanta in the system, and maybe with players like Pellegrini, De Rossi, Strootman, you know, he'll be able to fit well in that Roma team, and so let's see how well Di Francesco will use him, and they now have more depth in that midfield as well. Young player Lath, who did play a few games last year, got sent out on loan, so we won't be seeing him much in an Atalanta jersey. That's unfortunate because he did have some like great moments as well. They're also linked with a couple players. One of the big, I don't know if you want to say a bigger name, but is Brignola from Benevento, the young striker who had attracted a lot of interest. Started picking it up late in the season last year for them. So let's see if he makes his move to stay in the top flight. And then Papu Gomez is actually linked to leave Atalanta to Lazio. That would be a great signing for Lazio, and only for 8.5 million euros. Not a bad steal for like just over a 30-year-old. So it's not too bad, but I would hate to see Papu Gomez leave. He is the captain of Atalanta. So, you know, it's just tough to see him leave there after so much he has done for the team. I do feel maybe they want to build it up, their team a little bit, considering, you know, they're trying to qualify for Europe. They just had the recent game yesterday, the Thursday, for depending when this video is recorded. They did tie 2-2, and you know, they do need to really strengthen their team if they want to advance. So I would say, because especially it is the early, if they win, they still have to go through another qualifying phase, just like Milan did last season. So for me, I feel they really need to revamp their squad, strengthen it if they really want to stay in, like qualify for Europe and have a good campaign throughout Serie and the Europa League if they do qualify. Bologna has some major changes as well. They brought in Falcinelli from Sassuolo, who they exchanged actually for Di Francesco, so he left Bologna and went to Sassuolo, so straight swap there. They had another swap with Roma, and that's with Skorupski coming in and Mirante going out, so it looks like Skorupski will get the playing time he needs in order to develop, while they offload a 34-year-old to a team to be the backup. which is I really feel is a good move considering, Mirante's getting older. And he's a decent goalie, but at least they get a young goalie who has shown potential, and they can really use someone like that to help fortify the back line, right? They brought in Federico Mattiello as well, young Juventus product, who was actually at Atalanta. But players they got rid of, there's quite a few. Krisetig went out on loan to Frosinone. They got rid of Di Francesco, like I said. Adam Messina was sold to Watford, so they lose like a 24-year-old left back who has showed a lot of potential too. He was really good at the back, solid. Mirante I spoke of as well. And Alex Ferrari sold to Sampdoria, so they lose another young defender there. They could have used him as well. Like, that's just me, but sometimes you gotta make money pretty much get the money, but at the same time, how are you gonna use it to revamp your squad too, right? And then the big one here, Simone Verdi finally makes his move to Napoli after declining to move in January. So I guess in a way he wanted to finish off the season with Bologna and did make the move to them. So we'll see now how he does there in a team that's full of talent with Insigne, Mertens, Calayon. They're really, I would say they're honestly more talented than Bologna, but Bologna do have a lot of players with talent, but you can't really compare Bologna and Napoli. That to me, you can't, right? They want to get players like Grispoli, Sala, Pinato, not worthwhile names, but I feel maybe they'll get someone and maybe see, just help the team a little bit. They want to get like a superstar again. Verdi helped them a lot. Di Francesco, they lose two key players. Because, like, Falcinelli is a striker and Di Francesco is a winger, right? Same with Verdi. Well, he can play winger or striker, he can play right in that position. But who are you going to have on the wings now? So I feel they need to get someone to replace them in order to help compensate and maybe carry the rest of the team. But there's still a lot left, a few weeks left in the transfer window, so let's see what they're going to get. Rumors of Petkovic and Kraft leaving as well. Petkovic was a young striker who was at Verona last year, halfway through the season, out on loan. He'll probably go out on loan again, while maybe selling Kraft, another defender. Cagliari had a few transfers here. They brought in They bought Serie from Juve, a young product from their academy. They brought in veterans Lucas Castro and Dario Serna. So Serna is going to help strengthen the defense. And I feel it's a good move, They get tight in that defense, get everyone in order. Help out the back line because they did concede quite a few goals last year, so at least this is to help make everything tighter, and he brings a lot of experience to the team. And then Castro again helps that midfield, brings in that experience too, They got rid of Krosta, who went out on loan. He was a young keeper who actually made his debut against Milan because he did pull up from Milan's youth academy as well. They sold Salomon outright to Spal, who claimed that option. And not many sales, really. They kept most of their team, brought in a few names. Players of Rumours coming in. Tonelli, another good player to maybe strengthen their back line. I can just imagine Serna and Tonelli back there. Their experience and their talent there. Definitely a pretty decent center back or defensive line there. I feel it'll help. They're looking at maybe even bringing Ekdal back, who had spent quite a bit of time there in Cagliari, then left for Germany. It was good to see him come back as a homecoming. He did really well. I still remember the one hat trick he actually scored against Inter. I really remember that because I was watching it with my dad. But it's someone who actually knows how to play in Italy, how to play with the team, what it means to play for the city, the colors. So that would be a good addition. Rumors of Sal leaving on loan to Frosinone. So that would be an interesting one if they let one of their best strikers go. And Jonita as well, and definitely to Chievo. So let's see what they do. At least they didn't change too much, but they probably want to bring in again a couple of people to help strengthen the team, and they don't want to make it as close as it was last year. Chievo Verona did some acquisitions, some sales as well, and it was good for them to do this, considering we weren't sure if they're actually going to stay in Serie after the falsified documents towards Cesena of up to 25 million. Jeez, that is a lot. They did manage to get quite a few players in. They brought in veteran Djordjevic from Lazio, who they got on a free transfer. Was that a favor at Lazio? So this at least helps to reinforce the attack a little bit. With an aging Pellissier, they don't have Inglés anymore, who moved to Napoli because after his loan ended. They signed Stepinski outright as well. They liked the way he played. He performed quite a bit. Brought him in. You know, someone who actually played. Giaccherini, he's staying there. They bought him outright from Napoli. He gets to stay there and actually got his playing time at Chievo and shown why, you know, he should be playing. And he was very talented as well. Tomovic, they signed from Fiorentina, so someone to strengthen the back line as well. And again, they don't want to make it as close as last year as well. So they're trying to get the additions to help make sure they don't have a repeat of last year. They want to pull themselves farther up the table as well. A lot of veterans left too. You know, Daniele and Gobbi both left. And Daniele heading to Livorno, and Gobbi returns to Parma, both after their contracts expired. So, you know, they're probably going to play 1-2 more years perhaps in Serie or Serie C, whichever you're looking at. Probably retire because I guess, you know, you want to get some of the older guys out. Gambarini actually retired as well, so that's another older player gone. Bastien was sold to Standard Liège, and again we spoke about Castro going to Cagliari. There are linked to some players as well. Viola, Ionita, as stated before, Milic from Napoli. So not too many, and they're not rumored to get rid of anyone here. Let's talk about the Serie B champions who are now in the top flight. Empoli, they're trying to strengthen their team so they can stay in the top flight, not head back down, and do what they have to do to, you know, just do the same thing as last year, right? They brought in Legumina from Palermo, Rasmussen, who's a young talent from Rosenborg, and a few others, to be honest, I've never heard of. They brought in one player from, I believe, the Juventus Academy as well. And Fulinanti, a goalie from Cesena, on free transfer as well. So not worthwhile signings, but you know, those small little things to help me put some stuff into place. But I also see that they got rid of one of their top strikers who helped them get promoted in Alfredo Donnarumma. Got sold back to Brescia, so he goes back down. To me, that's a little strange, right? You want to keep one of your players that helped bring you up instead of sending them back down. So, to me, that's just a little off because I don't know why you want to do that in the first place. Maybe money, maybe they offered a good price, but still, if you want to stay in the top flight, keep your best players that helped you. I know sometimes it's hard, but you're selling them back down to a Serie B team. If you went and stayed in Serie A, it's a different story. But to me, that just doesn't make sense, you know? Fiorentina, they did quite a bit of moves, actually. They brought in Gerson from Roma on loan. So that's a good season because Gerson's quite talented. So he's shown his potential at Roma. He's shown what he can do. He can play anywhere in the mid, on the wing. So at least Fiorentina have good utility player to play all along the team there. So which is good. They brought in Ceccherini from Crotone. Wasn't a bad left back, but at least they bring in some depth. The one transfer here I'm actually really surprised about, Albin Lafont. They signed him from Toulouse for only $8.5 million. A young keeper like that for so cheap, I'm actually impressed that they managed to get that price for him. That's a young, talented goalie, and at least they got a goalie to cover now. I just can't. They have now Dragowski and Lafont, two young, talented keepers. They're thinking of the future, Fiorentina, and that is a great signing for them. That really is. Another player too. They bought Pazea, who was on loan with them last year, so they did buy him outright and decided to keep him. They were impressed with him. He did perform quite a bit, so it's good to see him stay there. You know, stay with the team, and they did get a player they want, and they know that they can play, perform. So they did get a player that they know can be with the team. Going on to their sales. So they got a lot of people went back out on loan or got sold. They got rid of Bruno Gaspar, Tomovic. Milan Badelli he even said that he wasn't going to resign with Fiorentina. He still hasn't chosen a team yet, but there are rumors, he's linked with Lazio, Zenit St. Petersburg, Milan, Napoli, a whole bunch of these teams, and he's still for sure who he's going to sign with. We'll see. He's close to his 30s, yeah, he's just under there, but still, he has a lot of experience, great player to have. Like, he can really orchestrate stuff in the midfield, so whoever signs him is going to be good. But again, it depends on how much he wants, the years. It's all this economic stuff. And, every player wants to get paid a pretty penny. So it depends who's willing to pay more, Going on to some rumors, or like links. They're linked with Gabriel for the net as well. Piaka from Juve. That would be a good to have on the wings, Chiesa and Piaka. That's talent there, right there on the wings, But Gabriel, I don't know unless they get rid of Dragowski on loan, because to me that just doesn't make sense. Gabriel, Lafont, Dragowski, again, it just doesn't make sense unless you try to send out Dragowski on loan or whatnot. Again, we spoke about Badelli and then Laurini linked to leave, Maxi Oliveira again linked to leave, so there's still a lot of work to do there at Fiorentina. Let's see who else they want to get, because again, if they get Piaka and Chiesa, just talent on the wing, and they can probably lead the strikers, especially Giovanni Simeone there. You get that front three. I would be scared. A lot of talent up there, and like a lot of threatening. They're gonna just prove a threat to me. Like, just watch out. That's it. Next team here too is another promoted team, that is Frosinone. They signed quite a bit of players, I would say. They brought in Perizza from Udinese, Goldeniga from Sassuolo, veteran Molinaro from Torino. So they get someone who has the Serie A experience again and knows how to play, who's been in there for a while, played with various teams as well. Krisetig, as we spoke with before, from Bologna. Sportiello again too, brought in Chipsa from Benevento. Bardi again, they officially bought him from Inter, so he's now theirs. So quite a few signings there, a lot of experience of players who have played in Serie A, so they want to use that to help them stay in again, because remember last time they were in their only year in Serie A, they only spent the one season, and they for sure want to look like they want to stay more. They don't want to just come up for 1 year and then go back down. No, they want to stay for consecutive years. And they hope to do this. They got 2 of their older players retired, and they sold Volpe back down. Some players, again, they're linked with. 2 of the biggest names there, Marco Sau and Luca Antonelli. So again, older players who are probably going to help them. And I would say it's another more reinforcements just to secure safety as well in the top flight. Genoa now. So they also made quite a bit of signings as well. Some names here. Romulo from Verona on a free transfer. Mazzatelli. Sandro from Benevento, who really impressed after coming in January. So he didn't stay with the Le Streghe. Decided to stay in Serie A with Genoa. They brought back Criscito on a free transfer. He said he was coming back to Italy. There was rumors he was going to go to Milan, Genoa. There was a lot of rumors with him, but he decided to come back where it all began, in Genoa. And then they even got Marchetti on a free transfer from Lazio after he was frozen out of the team. And that is because, again, they sold Mattia Perin to Juventus. So I know it's not the best replacement, but at least Marchetti has experience in Serie A. He has experience with La Nazionale, so he has some the experience to help keep the back line together. And he was we haven't seen him play in the longest time, but as far as I remember, he was a decent goalie. He was one who was able to help save you games, win you games. So that's a pretty good signing for them. I know it's not comparable to Perin, but at least it's someone they can get that they can be sure of. and that's good for Genoa to get him. So now some names leaving Genoa, other than a lot of the youth players. There are quite a bit. Rigoni left to Parma. Lamana, their third keeper, left as well. Izzo left. Alejandro Rossi left, and again, like we said, Mattia Perin. So they do have a lot of youth players gone, and not at least they replaced some of these names that did leave. So at least their work is there, you know. They know how to replace, pick and replace, but they want to make sure they're getting what they need. And it's also, I know within the next few days, I believe after the American tour, they're bringing in Favilli from Juventus, a young player too who has shown in his first game with Juventus there he scored 2 goals and in the ICC, so it's, you know, there's talent there. And that maybe to lead the attack as well, because they have been known to produce forward. So let's see what they like. Let's see if they can get him. They are even linked with Albin Ekdal, who again was at Cagliari and now abroad. So that would be another good addition for them. And they're even linked back with Bertolacci after he was on loan with them last year. Gattuso wants to keep him, but Genoa are still trying to push for a signature because they do like the player. And let's see, because there's still time left. Depends whether or not Gattuso is willing to let him go, if they can find a replacement. But, you know, Genoa's seen him. He was there before Milan as well, and they do really like him. And Lapadula is linked with a move away from the Grifone. Let's see if he makes his move away. I do miss him at Milan. I'll be honest with that. I liked him, but, you know, when you're a different sort of team, gotta let those players go. What can you do? After this, we have one of the bigger teams spending, and that is Inter. They have done quite a bit in this transfer market. They brought in Politano, Nainggolan, Asamoah, De Vrij, and Lautaro Martinez. Oh my God, they have really worked magic in this transfer window. De Vrij and Martinez we knew from last season, as De Vrij, as they got him in the last 6 months of his contract, while Martinez was agreed a fee during last season, became official once the transfer window opened. Same with Asamoah. But the one shock here, I would say, is Radja Nainggolan. I did not expect this, and I just feel they got an absolute bargain. I know he's in his 30, like he's 30 now, but like 24 mil plus Santon and Zaniolo. To me, that's like, Zaniolo is talented for sure, yes, but he's still unproven. And saying he's worth 20 mil, I know it's different in this transfer like market, everything's inflated, but still. And Santon, who's not even worth anything. So, what are you getting? Like, to me, I feel you should have paid more for Nainggolan with the 2 players. But still, quite a steal that Ozilio pulled off. And he's a great addition. And he has had his best years with Spalletti. So let's see how Spalletti can now use him to get the best out of him for Inter to compete for the Scudetto as well. And then they brought in Politano on loan with the option to buy. They were linked with him for the longest time. They finally got him, so another strength on the wings too, which I feel is very, very good. Martinez is going to create a good partnership up front with Icardi. The Argentines there will probably have the chemistry, and they will know how to score. And they will know how to create dangerous chances too. Watch out for that. Like, I would say, just watch out. They're one attack that you don't want to mess with either. Some names that they got rid of, like we said, Zaniolo and Santon headed to Roma. They finally got rid of Eder. He was sold to Jiangsu Suning in China as well. Bardi makes his way to Frosinone, like we said. And Kondogbia, Valencia buys him outright as well. Nagatomo, the legend is gone himself. Galatasaray decided to use the option to buy on him, so he will stay in Turkey. So those are the biggest names that have left Inter, and it's just a different Inter team. They're ready to change and compete. João Mario wants to leave. He regrets ever joining Inter, so I guess that transfer is trying to work to get him out of there. They're linked with Versailles as well from Croatia, from Atletico. A lot of negotiations happening, as well as Matteo Darmian, experienced fullback from Manchester United, who did have his stint here in Torino. So guys, we're here to the team. We know which one we're getting to now, and that is Juventus' transfer window. They are challenging. They want to get their long-awaited Champions League trophy. They're getting the players to do that because they know they want to win it. They don't care about Serie anymore. They've won 7 straight. That's enough for them. They want to focus on the big trophy that's been evading them for 7 consecutive finals since the 90s. And these players will help. Mattia Perin, who again will probably split with Wojciech Szczesny. Hard to say who's going to play more, but I just feel I don't know. It's tough. You have 2 good goalies. I do feel like Perin is better, but Szczesny does have the experience with Juve. He'll probably lead, but they're probably going to split the time between the two. Maybe one will play Champions League and Coppa Italia, one Serie A with a bit of Serie A split. We'll see. They decided to use their option by Douglas Costa, who was very crucial for them last season as well. Emery Chan, they got on a free transfer. Joao Cancelo, they bought for 40 million, so experience right back there. And the big one, Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know how they pulled it off. Over 100 million they spent, maybe 150, something like that. He's getting paid 30 mil a year. I can't believe it, to be honest. There's rumors of him leaving Madrid every year, but this actually happened. And once DiMarzio, who's the Don of all transfers, said that was going to happen, we were just all going nuts. We could not believe it. It is something that is just wow. I can't believe Ronaldo will play in Serie A, and this is good to help, Serie A grow again. Get to the league it was back when it was one of the best leagues in the world. I still consider it really good. It's still, to me, the best, but you can't compare with the 90s. That was just unbelievable. Alright? Now, going on to some players that they sold, because they have to sell now after buying all those players, It's a lot. Mandragora is sold to Udinese, but they retain a buyback clause of 26 million on the 20 million transfer fee. Brignoli, who scored against Milan, as we remember him, moves to Palermo. They sold Serie, like we said. Buffon leaves Juve after so many years. He leaves at the end of his contract to join PSG. And it's funny, he even stated that if he knew Ronaldo was coming, he would have stayed at Juve too. But of course, when Ronaldo's coming, you just want to stay and win. Lichtsteiner left as well. He said he was leaving. He joined Arsenal. Asamoah, like we said, joined Inter. Now, when we come to the players linked, we're going to start with the linked away because we have Higuain linked to Milan, Chelsea. Sarri wants him because of his time at Napoli, and then Milan because they want to get the experienced striker who they know who can score and bring them prestige. Rugani's linked away, Pjanic is linked away, Benatia, Suraro, Alexandro, but he said he is staying, but still, you never know if they're actually going to leave or not. But speaking of bringing in, they still want to bring in Darmian, they still want to bring in Milinkovic, Savic, but Bonucci is willing to return to Juventus. I honestly can't believe it. He clashed with Allegri, and that's the whole reason he went to Milan. He wanted to stay in Italy because of his family and because of the crap he went through with Allegri. But for some reason he wants to go back. Maybe it's because it's Ronaldo. They actually have a chance at winning a Champions League trophy, I don't know. But to do that after all that Milan's given him, to me is disrespectful, but no player's ever bigger than the club. And it's rumored too that, Bonucci for a Caldara swap, talks are still ongoing, and who knows if it'll happen or not, but that is an interesting swap considering, you're trading a veteran for a young prospect that finally came into the team after being on loan from Atalanta. And I can just imagine the Caldara-Romagnoli partnership. But then again, you're bringing in Bonucci, you're going to bring back the BBC of Barzagli, Chiellini, and Bonucci. But at the same time, then you're not giving minutes to Benatia, Rugani, Caldara. You're limiting them, right? So to me, that's not the best move, but I don't know why he's doing that. I don't know. But let us know what you guys think of Ronaldo coming to Juve, because that again is one of the biggest things we've ever seen in recent years. Lazio strengthening their team as well, signing Acerbi, Berisha from Red Bull Salzburg. So two crucial players trying to pump up the back line and the midfield. They got rid of Felipe Anderson as well for 40 million to West Ham. Wow, considering how inconsistent he is. But again, Premier League teams do, overpay. So at least they got a decent fee for him. We spoke about De Vrij leaving, Marchetti leaving, Djordjevic leaving. And one thing is still too, there again that we said they're linked with Milan Bedelli. They are also linked with Lucas Perez from Arsenal, Papu Gomez, and Joaquin Correa from Sevilla. I believe Di Marzio said he has agreed to join. It hasn't become official yet, but he is set to join, so that's another great player in the midfield. Very talented, and Lazio will probably be another force to reckon with, considering how well they played last year under Simone Inzaghi. Milinkovic-Savic still rumored to leave Real Madrid, Manchester United, Juventus. He's still the hot name to leave this summer in Serie A as well. Jordan Lukaku even rumored to leave to Everton. We'll see if that happens as well. We go on to the Rossoneri now. They've only made 3 signings, all on free transfers. Pepe Reina, who agreed back in January. Even Strinic as well agreed back in January. Then Alan Halilovic, young player who was in the Barca system out at Hamburg and Las Palmas, joins. I'm interested to see here. They said he's going to be the Suso backup or in the midfield. Let's see how he plays. He was very talented, but I feel he just didn't get the chance at Barcelona, and then it just hindered his development. So I'm excited to see him to play there. Milan didn't do a lot of transfers just because the chaos that was going on with the ownership. They finally have the owner in Elliott who wants to refinance the team and start spending. So they have a lot of names in mind. They have Morata, Bedelli, Higuain. Again, like we said, the Caldara, Bonucci swap. They're even linked with Zaza, who I don't feel is the best. They're even linked with one name in Brazil, Paqueta, rumored to trade with Gustavo Gomez. Montolivo looks like he's set to leave. We said with Bonucci as well. Gabriel Bertolacci. Kalinic looks like he's set to join Atletico Madrid. But there's a lot of stuff going on again with that transfer. Runners up from last year in Napoli, they spent quite a bit. Brought in Fabio Ruiz, 2 goalies from Udinese, and Carnesis and Meret. Young keeper there for sure. One experienced, one young. So they really knew how to bring them in, considering they lost both their goalies in Pepe Reina and Rafael Cabral. They brought in Verdi, Cicciaretti, but he got sent back out on loan. Younes makes his way finally from Ajax. Some names they let go, like I said, Rafael Cabral. Roberto Insigne is just out on loan. Jorginho was part of the package deal that was sent to Chelsea after he looked like he was set to join Manchester City, but he just made the U-turn, decided to go with his coach Chelsea, which is an intriguing signing there. Sepe leaves on loan. Maggio, their legend, leaves to Benevento after his contract expired. Giaccherini again makes his way, and as we said, Pepe Reina. They're still linked with a lot of players. Ochoa, they're linked with him, the Mexican keeper, maybe for more experience. Bedelli looking to reinforce the midfield once again. One player who constantly has links with him is Koulibaly. Doubt he'll leave. De Laurentiis has stated before he will not sell him. He's worth 100 mil for sure. He's one of the best center backs in the world for sure in Serie A. So I don't think De Laurentiis wants to let him go right now, especially if they want to contend for the Serie A title. And bringing in some of these players definitely will help. Going on to the last promoted team for sure is Parma. Rumors of them not staying up have been cleared up. They get to stay, but I believe they have now a point penalty, 2-3 points, something like that. They bring in Cicciaretti once again after he spent the last 6 months there, but he is still owned by Napoli. They brought in veteran Rigoni, Gobi, Bruno Alves, a young keeper, and Sepe. So experience with youth with half their team as well. Not many out, a lot of loans coming out from youth players and others. their legend Luca, who did state he wants to help them come back from Serie D. He retired after finally doing his promise. So let's see if they can, what's the word I'm looking for? Stay up in his name, sort of thing. They want to do that. They don't want to go back after all that work and go back down. They want to stay up after all that they did. Roma, who have had a tremendous transfer market, they've signed Bianda, Pastore, they brought in Zaniolo and Santon from Inter, Mirante, Justin Kluivert, even Marcano, Koric, Cristante, and Olsen. Quite a few changes, they're really trying to contend, bring in the depth, but I feel like it's a lot. It really is a lot. I feel the Mirante switch would have been good, but now that they sold Alisson, why? You sold two of your best players in Nainggolan and Alisson. Why would you do that if you want to be a contender and you bring in Olsen, who's not a superstar goalie? It just, I don't know, just doesn't make sense to me. They get rid of players of Perez, Sadiq. Well, Sadiq's out on loan. Bruno Perez, loan with option to buy. Their legend Labont retired, So they're trying to change up their team, make it more competitive. But they also actually recently got screwed over where they're going to take legal action for what happened with Malcolm. They were set to sign Malcolm. He was flying into Rome before. Barcelona hijacked the deal, offered a bit more, and Bordeaux accepted it. Malcolm joined Barcelona instead. Everyone is pissed, considering all the fans that were waiting for him at the airport. I do feel bad for them. I really do. So, and now they're linked with other players like Berardi, Suso, a whole lot of other players. Let's see who they can get to replace. But I feel they'll be a lot more competitive with this team. I don't know how they'll do it considering, like I said, they sold their two players. You're missing one of the best goalies you had and best midfielders you had. I'm not sure how well you're going to do. But let me know what you guys think about Roma. That's a tough one to say, right? Alright guys, stay with me. We're almost there. A couple more teams left. Sampdoria. They brought in Defrel actually from Roma on loan as well. They brought in Rafael Cabral from Napoli. They, after selling Viviano, saying they needed a keeper. Aldero, probably the backup there as well. Yankto from Udinese, who's rumored to go to a lot of other teams. They got a good talent there. They brought in Belic from Benevento, who was sold to them last season as well. And Alex Ferrari, as we spoke to as well. The young player in Bonazzoli, out on loan. Duvan Zapata, we spoke about, went to Atalanta. Ricky Alvarez, they didn't extend his contract, so they sold him. They let him go, sorry. Lucas Torreira, their young gem, they're one of their best players. They let him go to Arsenal for 30 million, I believe it was. It's tough. He was one of the best players we saw out. He broke out quite a bit last year. Really showcased his talent. And it's hard to let someone like that go. But what are you gonna do when a bigger team sort of comes calling and offers quite a bit of money? It's hard to resist. So best of luck to him as well. Viviano got sold to Sporting Lisbon. Tough to see him go because he was a pretty decent keeper. He did have quite a bit of mistakes, but he was a pretty decent keeper for Sampdoria as well. And then even Strinic, as we said, left on a free transfer to go to Milan. Obiang is linked to return to Sampdoria. Piaka as well, rumored to go there. I can't imagine, that wouldn't be bad. Piaka Quagliarella, who is over, I believe, 36, scored 15 goals maybe. Outstanding for someone like that. Sassuolo, they brought in old veteran Kevin Prince Boateng. I'm actually happy to see him back. I've been a fan with him ever since he came to Milan. Really enjoyed him. Good to see him back in Serie. So I want to see how well he does here. We spoke about the Di Francesco trade with Bologna. They brought in Lemos for another year. So they want to compete a little bit more. Let's see, especially with De Zerbi, the coach now. We're gonna see a lot of changes. They sold Goldeniga, like we said, Cherby. Mazzatelli, Falcinelli, Politano. So a lot of the bigger names left. One of the big, like they only really have Berardi that's still there, but he's still rumored to leave. So who knows how long that'll happen. It's hard when you have all these key players and they all leave. So it's sort of hard to see if they're gonna still stay up or not. Let's see what happens with them next year. Spal, who stayed up last year, did make quite a few changes as well. They brought in Milinkovic-Savic, the goalie from Torino, his brother. They brought him in. They brought Dickman from Novara. Poloski they bought even Salomon, as we spoke. Patania they brought in too. Borriello left. He barely played. So, and I think there was some clash with the coach, the management. So he was frozen out of the team, and they, I believe, terminated his contract as well. They're linked with Valdifiori as well. It wouldn't be a bad signing for them as well. Grassi from Napoli, still pretty young, would probably be an addition. Torino, they bring in veteran Rosati. They bought Nikulu, who played pretty well with them. Izzo, and then some other younger players as well. So they tried to bring in some veterans as well. They got rid of Molinaro, just on a free transfer, who again went to Frosinone. Antonio Barreca, young talent that I guess they couldn't keep a hold of, went to Monaco. He joins Pellegrini there. I hope he can really perform. You know, he was talented, but I hate to see him go. Spoke about Milinkovic-Savic, Danilo Aguilar out on loan, and then they let Paradiso go after his contract expired. Players are linked with too. Juan Jesus, Roberto Pereira, Zaza. So some players who have showcased their talent in Serie A, more Pereira and Zaza. Pereira was really good with Juve. Zaza has shown what he can do, but I'm not sure if that will be the best, to be honest. And I can't believe they let go of Josef Martinez, who's now performing in the MLS. But then there is a difference, like as we all know, MLS Serie A, but he was still really talented. Going on to the last team, and that is Udinese. We have Rolando Mandragora, as we spoke, bought for 20 mil, buyback option of 26. Not many. Udinese is more of, they buy like smaller names, build them up, sell them for a higher price. They're more of that buying club. They got rid of Perizza, Pizzari, Maxi Lopez, Widmer, Yanto, Carnesi, Meret. They got, like I said, they get rid of more of the bigger names, buy younger guys, build them up, try to get a profit on them. Like the biggest names are linked to Pinamonti, Lapadula, Nicolas. Alright, they're still looking to get rid of DePaul and Evangelista. It's interesting to still see what they have left in their mercato. So guys, I got through all that. What do you guys think of this transfer market so far? It's been quite interesting. Probably one of the best we've seen in years. What do you guys see as the best transfer coming into Serie A? Maybe best sale? Who do you guys want to see come in? Let us know. Comment below. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Calcio_bros, and subscribe on YouTube for more Calcio content. We'll hear from you guys soon.